Okay, so a year ago, we had the opportunity to talk mainly about Wolfhardt's King of the North album, but we also had a little chat about Before the Dawn, and you announced that the band's new album should be released in June 2023. And indeed, so I understand that the work went smoothly, no adventures along the way?
It went super smoothly, like everything. I guess this new Before the Dawn album and the whole production cycle has been like balancing all the bad karma from my previous life or something, because usually things don't go this smooth. So it's been surprisingly easy and nice, at least so far. I hope I didn't jinx it now, but
And Before the Dawn is back with a new lineup, but in 2021 we've got a single with Lars. So why didn't it work out with him?
Well, we officially Lars retired from Before the Dawn already 2000. What was it? 9 or 10. So he's been out from the picture officially for a long time. We even made the last album without him, but we did some special shows, 3 of them during the past 10 years, with the Deadlight lineup, which included Lars also, and he agreed to do the festivals. And then we decided to do the vinyl version of the Deadlight album, but we wanted to do something special for the fans, not just press the same album again and just collect the money from the fans. That's what it felt to us when the label was suggesting the whole vinyl thing, that we wanted to make something special for the vinyl. So we recorded the new song only to be a bonus song on the vinyl, and then we did the music video for that. And now looking back at the whole thing, now I realize that we kind of like gave very mixed information for the fans, because a lot of people thought like this is the comeback now. And then here later comes Downhearted with a completely different singer. But we didn't see it that way, because to us it was so clear that this is just the vinyl bonus song. And because it was the Deadlight vinyl, we wanted to do the song with the same lineup that was at the studio 2006. Working with that album. So yeah, we've been accidentally very like a confusing band, like towards our fans, but that was never in any kind of planning that we would do comeback with that lineup.
And during our previous interview, you said that you heard Paavo when Juho called you that someone is singing Before the Dawn song on The Voice of Finland. So yeah. Which song was it? And did you later watch Paavo on that show?
It was that song, and it was amazing how well he did both, not just the cleans, but the growling also. And that was the first time I ever heard about him. So I started sending messages after I saw that. But that was very clear when he did that song that yeah, he could do any song of Before the Dawn. If you can pull that off international TV in front of the huge audience and the cameras, then yeah.
And how far did he go on The Voice of Finland?
He was second in the end.
Oh, that's nice.
I think it's good for everybody that he didn't win. That's my that's my personal point of view, because that kind of format, they don't really support the artist that well. They just take the money and it's just a TV show. And kind of like cheap entertainment. It's not good for long-term career building, like a thing. I don't like past 10 years. None of the winners of Voice of Finland never got a proper career, or many of them never got even a song out from the label in the end.
I think it's because they force artist who wins the Voice to become someone else.
Yeah. The labels and the TV company is just looking for the product that would make most money at that moment. That's not how music and art works. And so I think it's in the long run, it's better for Paavo, and it's better for us because now Paavo can join us. If he would have won Voice of Finland, he would have been stuck with the record contract that ties him to the whole Voice of Finland thing. But luckily, he was free to join us and also signed the Napalm contract.
And after The Voice of Finland, you decided to record some tracks with Paavo, but not yet as Before the Dawn.
Yeah.
Did they eventually end up on the album, or were they released as Pavo's solo track or singles?
No, it was we did one song. I suggested him that I have some ideas that could work with his voice, and it was just the whole idea was just some kind of like a solo project for Paavo, that it would be under his name and I would be just the songwriter there. The song we recorded was Downhearted, that we released a year ago. It's now also on the album, and that song started the whole. When that song was done, then the whole idea of the comeback started. There was no talk at all about Before the Dawn until I realized that this sounds like Before the Dawn.
And was the creation process of the new material for Stonebringers was different from the previous albums? Because after all, now you only play guitar and drums. You're not singing on the album.
Well, that was a pleasant change for me, because it's so much nicer to write lyrics and do vocal arrangements for somebody else than yourself. Like when you need to sing your own lyrics, there's some things you don't necessarily want to say aloud. You start to filter yourself. It's like a different, like writing a poem is a different thing. But if you know that you need to read the poem to a lot of people again and again and again, you might start thinking you're writing it differently. And also it's in general, it was weird, the whole process, because usually I first get the idea of the album, then I start writing the first song that starts the whole snowball effect for the rest of the album. Now I accidentally wrote the song already. I already had Downhearted completely ready when we realized that this is Before the Dawn. So the album process was already like started. So yeah, it started in a really weird way, because yeah, I usually I know what to write for and who the band is that I'm writing for. So I started the album like writing without knowing that I'm writing the album.
And you said that Stonebringers will be an album more in the style of Deadlight than Rise of the Phoenix. Did you still say that despite the changes, it's a return to the earlier years of activity?
Yeah, because well, I have a little bit wrong perspective in that, because yeah, I wrote that album also, and that was not a good time in my career. We already knew that Before the Dawn is not going to continue. This is going to be the last album. There was a lot of complications with the label. There was just like obstacles in every direction. And that's not a good place to do an album when you know already that something or everything is going to get fucked up. So you don't have this like enthusiasm or hope, or you don't expect anything from the album when you know that this is going to be the last. So, and also to me, it was already the first Wolfheart album. Rise of the Phoenix was my transition to Wolfheart. No clean vocals, more like blast beats, more Nordic elements in the music. So now that we knew that now we're going to write a Before the Dawn album, we went back to the roots and to the middle era, Deadlight, Soundscape of Silence, that kind of stuff.
And you terminated Before the Dawn because it went too close to what you wanted to do with Wolfheart. So what makes now Before the Dawn's music so special, different from all of your previous works?
Well, the thing is, it's also, again, difficult for me to analyze, because Before the Dawn is my baby. I started Before the Dawn when I was a teenager. And I grew up as a grown-up with the band. That was such a big part of my identity also back in the days. And now when I'm reconnected with Before the Dawn, I like you ask me what is different and special. To me, the special is that it's Before the Dawn. It's like finding your brother again that has been lost for 10 years. Like nothing and everything is special. It's such a big part of me that I wouldn't be able to differ.
And when you released the first single, which was Downhearted, like 10 months ago, this was before you signed with Napalm Records? Was it really totally independent?
Yeah, it was. It was made with just with the Finnish label that was in charge of the releasing all the albums in Finland back in the days. And when that song came out, then I started getting emails from Napalm. They've been asking for like Before the Dawn almost every year, just checking up that is the band is going to be active. If we are going to be active, they would be very interested. So I kind of like already expected them to contact me when the song comes out.
And did you have already few tracks for the new album, or was it only Downhearted?
Only that. Like I started writing songs, but I didn't have anything recorded yet because we didn't. It's been, again, everything has been a little bit weird because usually it's music business, so you need to do a lot of work, hit your head against the concrete wall to get anything happening. And now things started happening faster than they usually do. Like I was just thinking about what kind of songs I would like to have on the album when I get the email from Napalm. I just started thinking like maybe we could do some festivals in the summer, when I got emails from the agencies already. And then suddenly we have the festivals, we have the tours in Finland, we have the tour in Europe. So a lot of things just kind of felt like they fell from the sky. And then we just like, yeah.
For all of your later singles, you released videos which were created by the same production team. So why did you choose Winter Notes production?
Because it's mine. Because doing the music videos myself, I can do more with the same amount of money. It's just because nowadays, like, releasing a lyric video is a complete commercial suicide. Nobody watches lyric videos, and making 3 music videos minimum for album would usually cost huge amount of money. But I invest my time to make good videos and be able to make more or have better production of the video themselves than pay to somebody else. So, and I do love making music videos. I've done all the Wolfheart videos, all Dawn of Solace videos. I've done some videos for other bands like Ensiferum, but yeah, it's just practical. Like, there was one actually, Before the Dawn is part of the whole process. I'm not going to mention the name of the video because I don't want to like bring any bad like promo for the guy. But there was one guy who took several thousands of euros. He did a video for Before the Dawn back in the days, and it was horrible. I was very, very like upset about it. And then I decided like, it can't be that hard. Like if I pay thousands of euros to somebody and I get this kind of crap that I can't even put on the YouTube, then it's better just to learn it myself. Like, how hard can it be? Well, it was actually quite hard. It wasn't that easy, but it makes a lot of things easier. Now I can do all the playthrough videos. We're gonna release tomorrow a studio documentary of Juho's recording and mixing. We can do all of those things inside the band instead of hiring every time somebody from the outside.
And on the new album, we also find some electronics, just like on the very first Before the Dawn's album. So who was responsible for the keyboards, for the electronics? Was it Saku?
Yes. Good call. It was him, yes.
And Saku was the person also responsible, along with Juho, for recording, mixing, and mastering. And you have collaborated before on Before the Dawn, on Wolfheart, on Rota Cielo, on Black Sun Eon, on Dawn of Solace. So what makes you two get along so well musically?
I think I've been super lucky that I've become such good friends with such talented people. And also like when I started Before the Dawn and Juho joined on the third album, he was just starting to learn the recordings. And when we recorded Deadlight album, it wasn't a real studio, it was his rehearsal place. And the equipment was not that professional. He was using his home computer. He was just starting, and now he is a professional studio engineer. So I've been super lucky. Like a long time ago, my paths crossed with right kind of people. And during the years, they become such great professionals, and our chemistry is still really good. So I I don't see any reason to change that, because it's not just going to work. It's just spending time with one of my best friends and creating music that is the best thing for me to spend my time when I'm alive. So it's combining both like my personal like favorite, like a way of spending my time, and also including one of my best people in my life. So it's again, I'm just being super lucky to have these kind of people as friends for this long.
And Before the Dawn, on live concerts with Before the Dawn, you are currently playing on unusual position for you, because exclusively on drums. So was it strange during the first concert?
Yeah. It was like I've been playing drums for 25 years, and I've done drums on many Before the Dawn albums even. So on the back catalog, there's a lot of songs that I played drums myself, and I always wanted to play drums. And I've been playing shows with several bands. Of course, I never played with Before the Dawn, and suddenly the first show is the comeback show. We play 75 minutes, which is the longest set ever in the Before the Dawn history. There was people coming from at least 11 different countries for that show. So that was terrifying. That's the last week before that gig was one of the most horrible weeks that I have connected to any live show. I've never been that nervous. So, but when the gig started and when the first song was on the way and everybody on the stage realized like, we got this, then it became one of the best gigs I've ever played. But yeah, everything was different. Everything, yeah. Especially comparing with Wolfheart, we've been playing a lot of gigs during the past 10 years. I have a super strong routine with the guitar and the vocals. Like if you wake me up in the middle of the night, I could perform 1 hour almost flawlessly, because that's how many times I've done it. And suddenly in a situation where there's no routine at all, it feels super weird when you are. I haven't been in that situation in 20 years.
And where was this first concert of Before the Dawn?
It was in Lahti. It was the same venue that we played the last show, 2013.
And now you have played both club and festival concerts. So which concert was the most memorable for you? The first one, or maybe some festivals?
The first one. I think the first one is going to be in my top 3 forever. It would need because it wasn't just that it wasn't the biggest gig, it wasn't the biggest stage, but as an important event in my career, I don't think a lot of things need to happen that would get off from the top 3 list.
And at the end of the year, you will embark on a European tour, and during it, you will be playing in 2 bands, Before the Dawn and Wolfheart. So how do you prepare for such physical effort?
A lot of training, not just musical, but running and keeping myself in a very good shape, because yeah, it's probably gonna be pretty hard, but I'm sure I can pull it off really easily. But it's 25 shows and no day offs, so yeah, I need to be in a very good condition. But I still rather do 2 gigs every night than 2 tours in a row. So to me, it's still the best scenario. I get both bands on a European tour, and I can come back home after 4 weeks.
Also, mentally, it will be different, because Wolfheart and Before the Dawn's music is completely different, despite the fact that they're both metal bands.
Well, I think that what makes it easy for me, that is 2 different instruments, like completely different. It would be like guitar and bass. That's very similar with how you remember the song patterns and everything. But with drums and guitar, it's just a different world to begin with. So I think that differs it very easily. Different mindset, of course, also, because on the other one, I can just sit on the background. I don't need to be in the front. Again, I don't feel like I'm entertainer. But with the other one, I'm the front man, so it's a little bit different.
And before the official announcement of the Polish dates of the tour, you announced them at the Mystic Festival. And did the weather give you a hard time? Because I was in a front row during the Wolfheart show, and it was fucking hot.
It was, and I would have paid $1 million if somebody would have turned the stage, because Because, and also when you have this kind of stage and you have the sun is coming directly to the stage, you have black walls on the stage, even it was windy, but the air doesn't still move the same way. So you are just surrounded with the hot air constantly. Playing is okay, but growling vocals, it feels that you are just unable to get enough air into your lungs that you could continue growling. So that was like felt like climbing a mountain.
And you have been to Poland many times before with Wolfheart. Now, however, you will be a headliner for the first time. So what can we expect besides a longer set? Any special settings?
I don't know yet. We are still talking about the production side of the whole thing. Definitely longer set. We done so many like support tours, and like playing 40 minutes or even 35. That's just horrible when that fits only 5, max 6 songs in, because we don't have short songs that short anyway. So yeah, that's going to be the biggest change and the best thing for us, that we can play over an hour each night, because we have so many albums already. Picking one song from each album is already over 45 minutes. So
maybe now we're gonna play more songs from the previous album, because it was released under the pandemic and you couldn't tour with this material.
yeah, well, that's a tricky thing. We're gonna have at least one song from that album, but because we released the King of the North so quickly, it kind of like replaced the. It's just what happened. It sucks, but albums can get really old for the band also if you kind of lose the connection. You don't get to play the songs live, and then you do another one already. And I guess I can mention this already, but we've been in the studio writing some new stuff, and there will be at least maybe something new coming out in some form before the tour. So there probably is going to be one completely new song added to the set list. So that's going to make the songs from Wolves of Karelia even more difficult to fit in, but we haven't decided yet.
And Jonas at one time was the drummer for Before the Dawn. So do you plan for him to appear on one song, for example, as an encore? Then you could go back behind the microphone for a while.
Actually, I never even thought of that. That is an option, yes. Well, well, we have completely different settings. He wouldn't be able to play well with my settings, or I wouldn't be able to do the same with his drums. So I think he wouldn't like the idea at all. But actually, yeah, I never thought of that, and that would have been a possibility, yeah.
Yeah, for one of the oldest songs, it will be interesting for the fans.
That would be actually, yeah. We need to think about that. Now that you mentioned, if that happens, you can take the credit. That was that was your idea, because yeah, I never even thought of that. I don't know why, but it never crossed my mind that in theory that would actually be possible. Yeah.
And we should hear some older Before the Dawn song, but in new versions, because with Paavo. So which older song sung by him impresses you the most?
Well, I'm impressed by many songs, because we have on the set list, there's songs from every album. And what I really love that we are able to play even songs from the debut album that is 20 years old. And I think those because yeah, being reconnected with the songs that I thought I lost 10 years ago, that I wrote over 20 years ago. And now I have a singer who can do all the songs we have in the catalog. So it's, yeah.
And that's all that I have prepared. We got 25 minutes, so it's almost on time. So
Yeah.
for the end, you can say something to Polish fans, to our readers, maybe invite them to the concert.
Well, I hope to see all of you there. That's what I wish. This is the first time we headline with Wolfheart, and first time I'm bringing Before the Dawn to Europe in 12 years of break. So special things for both. And I suggest everybody to check out Hinayana also. They are the North American band that was part of the Ultima Ratio tour. They are getting a new album out from Napalm just before the tour. So I think this is a super good package overall.
So again, thank you for your time and take care.
Thank you.